so that later I can have this for as a course. So let's take a step back. So when you're making that approach, you have to mention a date, because if you get a phone number and you don't mention a date, she's gonna assume that you just got the phone number just so she can have more attention, right? So you guys can follow each other on Instagram, Snapchat, just another friend. But that's why it's always important to mention the date when you get that phone number, because then she knows, okay, this guy's not playing. Like, this guy wants to go out with me. That way, when you text, you refer back to that conversation. Hey, by the way, I know we mentioned we were going to hang out. Listen, I'm actually free on this date or this day. If she's interested, she'll reply, you know what? I'm free on this day. Cool. Something like that. If she's not interested, she'll say, you know what? I'm busy, and she won't give you an alternative. At that point, you kind of have to loop back and restart your text game. So that's more advanced. I'll get there next time. But for now, Mike, in this situation, what I would have done is, as soon as I text her, and I would have said, hey, by the way, I know we mentioned the date. Actually, what I would have said is like, hey, I have an idea. So you text first, I have an idea. I use this all the time. I have an idea. That leaves it open-ended, like, okay, what's the idea? Then she's gonna reply, okay, what's the idea? You say, I'm free on Thursday. I know we mentioned a date. Let's go. I'm gonna go eat here. I'm gonna go here. I want you to join me. So you lead it, right? You don't say, hey, can I take you on a date? Hey, can you do dinner? No, no, no. You say, I'm gonna go do this. I would like for you to join me. Or you can say, I'm gonna be free on Thursday or Friday. I would like to go I was planning to do this. I'd love for you to accompany me. So you start off with, I have an idea. It piques her interest. Now she says, what's the idea? You put it on the table. And then you lead. You say, I'm going to do this on this day or this day. Come. That's it. So it just displays more confidence, and it displays more like, okay, this guy's a leader. Now, let's say she says, okay. For the most part, this happens all the time, and dudes don't talk about this. Girls will say okay, but they will forget. They just say okay to be nice. So they'll agree to the date, but in reality, they didn't really put it in their schedule like, I have a date on this day. So what you're supposed to do is say, okay, cool. On this day, we'll hang out. I look forward to seeing you. She'll reply with same. Okay, cool. Now, what I usually do is, let's say it's Monday. You plan the date for Saturday. I usually text them 2 days in advance. 2 days in advance. Why? Because you want to get back in her mental before the date. So on Thursday, I will text them, hey, I'll text them a meme, or I'll text them something, some random shit. Or how are you doing? Oh, cool. You wouldn't believe what happened to me. Now, again, you're piquing that interest. You're having like, okay, this guy's always doing something. What's up with him? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Like today I read like a story I used in Colombia when I got stopped by the cops on a train station. Like that's what I used. Oh, I got arrested. Did you? Nah, I'm kidding. But I had an issue with the cops. Tell me more. And so what you do is on Thursday, you share the story, but you take 2 hours, 3 hours per reply, even if she replies right away. Why? Because you want this conversation to bleed into the next 2 days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This conversation isn't for you to text back and forth that same day. The conversation on Thursday is so that it bleeds through to Saturday, so that you can again remind her, hey, by the way, we had this date plan. Are you still down? Because if you set up a date Monday, you wait till Saturday, she's completely forgot about you. She's completely forgot about everything else. She's got 2, 3 other guys texting her. She's got 10 guys in her Instagram DMs. There's no way she's gonna remember. No matter how, I mean, unless you're like super high value, your Instagram shows Lamborghinis and all that shit, and she's like, oh, I need to go hang out with this dude. A lot of us don't have that on our Instagram. So, and she's not gonna remember like, oh, I really want, she's not gonna think that. So you have to remind her on Thursday, hey, this happened, blah, blah, reply by like the afternoon. Oh yeah, this, she's gonna reply overnight. Friday around noon, you text her again, you continue the conversation. Oh yeah. By the way, tomorrow, Saturday, I was still gonna go do that. Now she's like, oh yeah, that's right. And you can kind of confirm with her. She'll reply Friday night, yeah, I'm still down. Perfect. Saturday around 11 a.m., you say, okay, you reply to her text, okay, perfect, I'll see you at this time, because you're replying to the text from Friday. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how you confirm a date without really confirming. You just you walked her into that. Now she's like, oh yeah, I was still down. Cool. On Saturday, you reply, okay, perfect. Then we're still confirmed for 7 p.m. tonight. I'll see you there. You didn't have to reply. You didn't have to make up a text on Saturday morning. Hey, good morning. Are we still on? Like that's too needy. You just bled that conversation Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you see how much smoother that is?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And so that's the same way with following up in sales. In sales, you I'm gonna get to that here in a minute. In sales, you guide a lead, like, hey, how you doing? Good. Okay, we'll follow up on this day. You send them an email. Hey, here's a calendar item. I'm gonna meet you on this day. Perfect. A day before, you send another email. Hey, tomorrow we're gonna go ahead and meet up. I look forward to seeing you. You remind them, like, hey, we have our call. Don't forget. That way they actually make it to the call. Carlos, David just sent me a message. He says, why is Carlos smiling? Did you like that? Did you like that little text game right there? Tell me, what did you like about it?
That is it's basically game, like most guys text on the day because they don't have they don't realize how the girl works, like it's not really that maybe she could be interested, but she'll forget because you have these other options. So you kind of have to be like, you kind of have to lead it that way in that direction, because it's basically leading,
Exactly.
what
and you have to be 2 steps ahead. This is what most guys fuck up with. They're too in their head. They're too excited for that date. And they're like, oh shit, fuck yeah, I got the date, put it in their calendar. And they completely forget that she's got a life too. And that's the same thing that we have to acknowledge when we approach. When we approach, that's why I always say, when you come in, she's busy. She's got shit to do. You have to come in like a wrecking ball, show her that this is worth a conversation, worth stopping your date for 5 to 10 minutes and talk to me. Then once you do that, she's going to be happy. She's going to enjoy it. And now for those 5 to 10 minutes that she talked to you, she has completely forgotten about everything else going on. That's the whole point. Every time she interacts with you, she's got to forget about everything around her, because when she doesn't interact with you, another guy's interacting with her and she forgets about all the other guys. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So be that guy. So yeah, it's important to that text game, man. And it doesn't even matter what you say. You don't have to say nothing witty. You don't have to, it's just a regular conversation, but you just take 2 to 3 hours to reply. That way it bleeds over. That way, instead of only talking to you one time, she's in her head, she's talked to you for a whole week. But in reality, you guys only text back and forth 5, 6 times.
Right.
And it's lasted days. So that's one thing that, I mean, if Steve is gonna hop on, he learned right away. He's like, when he had dates, I'd be like, yo, you're fucking up because you're waiting for the day of to confirm the date. You got to text days ahead. And so for example, let's say you go out on a weekend. Let's say you get numbers on Saturday. On Monday, you should be texting, hey, what's up? On Tuesday, you should be telling her, hey, let's hang out for the weekend. Every time you're trying to set up a date, you should not be setting up a date the day before or 2 days before. It should be minimum 3 days to a week before. That way, you just seeded the idea, and then a couple days later, you give yourself that room, that space to follow up. That way, on the day of, you're already talking, and you confirm that date, and then it's a higher chance of her showing up.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. I like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording. This is gonna be I'm gonna post this here in the group.